All right, so today is a Sunday, and I spent all of yesterday, and I mean all of yesterday, completely sanding and resanding and filling and bondoing and rebondoing and resanding and sanding and rebondoing this entire machine because I was just not happy with how it turned out. The entire perimeter of both sides, top and bottom, both sides, whenever I tried to sand the edge to get rid of the swollen part, it would just basically disintegrate and fall apart. So I had to put wood hardener all around the perimeter, wait for it to dry, and then start bondoing and sanding and bondoing and sanding, and it turned out as good as I can possibly get it because it's not perfect, but it is absolutely leaps and bounds better than it was in the previous part. I was just not happy with anything of how that turned out. I kind of rushed it, and I wish I could go back and just delete that part, but we're not going to do that. We all make mistakes, and I'm not going to do that. So this is how it turned out now. I mean, as you can see, it is pretty much perfect. There's no more missing gaps around the outside. It's nice and round. I got the bolts down there. I got all the rust off, and I painted them black and got those reinstalled on both sides. I think this one here was seized, so I couldn't get it out. I think it was this one. No, it's the other side. The other side. I think it's we'll get to that in a minute. One of them was seized, and I was able to actually polish it up and paint it while it was still in there. But you can see it turned out just perfect. There's no more gaps, anything around the edge. And I was able to get it pretty much. There's still a little bit, but there's only so much I can do. There's still a little bit, but it's leaps and bounds better than it was, and there's no more missing pieces. So all along the front here, all along the outside edge, it's basically about as good as I could possibly get it. And I think it turned out real well. You can see just along the edge there, it's not really too bad at all. So both sides are like that. This side's even better. Turned out this side wasn't as bad as the other side, or it wasn't as bad as the other side, but even this side turned out real nice. So I was able to just sand and fill. The bottom edge is pretty much perfect. This top edge turned out pretty well. So all of the areas and chunks that were gouged and broken and missing and all that stuff. Down here was a giant chunk missing. Got that fixed. Yeah, the back corner over there was missing. I got that fixed. So it's turning out pretty much perfect now. I think up here had a bunch missing. I was able to fill all of this and get that done. It's not perfect, but it's, like I say, leaps and bounds better than it was. This block here, this block that was here, it's a handhold thing. I tried to remove it, and it just broke in pieces. It was nailed in there as well as the two screws. So I have to remake this, but that's not going to be a big deal. I wanted to take it off to sand and paint that back piece, and then paint this black, because I painted it gray. Just some stupid reason I painted it gray. So I was going to paint it back to being black, but it just broke apart. So there's no reason to really fill all this. A new block's going to go right there. So yeah, but the back is pretty much perfect. I got the bottom edge. These marks here are from my dolly that I am moving it around with. I'll wipe those off later. But even just the back panel here is perfect. I mean, everything turned out great compared to how it was. Yeah, this side, this one. This is the one that was seized in there. I was able to actually get all the rust off and paint it. But that one I was able to put back in. So, I mean, I'm sorry about the bad angle here in the sun. But there's just more light out here than in the garage. But you can see how well this is all, it all just turned out much better than it was. Pretty much perfect. And I'm just glad I went through and did all this, because in the previous part it was just complete shit. I don't even know why I bothered to post that video. I just wanted to get it out there to give you guys content, but I spent all day yesterday completely redoing all this. Repainting and rebondoing and resanding, and yeah, I'm super happy with the results. So now that the cabinet work is absolutely, completely, 100% done, well, no, 99.9% done. I gotta redo this, but that's no big deal. It's time to start repopulating and getting things cleaned up. Sorry about the wind. And yeah, let's move inside and we'll continue on with what else needs to be done. Okay, so I've been soaking these rusted bolts and washers and leg leveler plates and everything in this rust converter gel and this what is it, naval jelly that actually eats away the rust. And it's been sitting here for about 6 hours and it's working beautifully. Let's see here. We all know how bad these were rusted previously. We've all seen part one, but if we look at it now, it's basically, I can't tell if you can see how good that is. Can we see how good that is? We're in the wrong environment here. Let me see if I can reposition this so you can get a better idea of how this is awesome now. So hang on a second. Okay, this is a bit better. So we can see here now that this is basically completely rust free. So this stuff works fantastic. It's let me see here. This is the naval jelly here that's in here, and wait till I show you what's in there. And then this is the rust dissolver gel that I have in this container that basically ate away all of the rust. It's all gone. So this will turn out nice. All the washers and the other bolts in here. Let's pull out a washer and take a look at it. Let's see, there's a washer. Now these were a bit more worse for wear. So let's just see how the washer here at random turned out. As you can hear, it's pretty windy again. There goes the, it's pretty bad. There goes that bottle. All right, so the washers didn't turn out as good, but these were extremely corroded. So I'm going to take a sander and sand these down. If I can't get them looking good, I'm just going to replace them with brand new washers. The problem is I can't find any black washers, and I'll have to paint them black. I'd like to just reuse these if I can, so I'm going to actually sand these down, but you can see the bolts turned out fantastically, so I'm going to set that back in there for now. But as far as those leg leveler plates here, they are unbelievable as far as how well they turned out here. All of this rust is basically gone. The only thing left is this surface rust, and I'll bet you that I can just take a wire brush in there and wire brush all this out. But the bottom is awesome. Look at the bottom side. Look at that. So this is turning out quite nice. All of the sides and the bottom part and the front. Yep. And you know, this is going to be a really good turnout. I'm just going to take a wire brush to wire brush all the inside, and I should be able to prime and paint these, have them turn out real nice. So yep, all the rest of the rusted hardware is in here as well. So I'm going to let this sit for a few more minutes, and then I'll get to work on all this stuff. And then I guess what we'll do is we'll put all the black pieces back on the cabinet that we can. I'm going to try and work on getting the coin door cleaned up and sanded and all of the rust removed on it, and then we'll proceed from that point. Well, it's going to be about it for today. I'm running out of daylight. My initial intention was to get all of the black panels and everything reinstalled, and I may have got this upside down. I'll go back and look. If not, if it is, I'll turn it around. No big deal. But it's turning out pretty well. I have to make a new piece for here, and that'll complete the back. And then I had to get, well, I want to wait a little bit more for this to dry. My initial plan was to have this Rhino-lined or Line-X'd, whatever you want to call it. But the place is only open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, so I have to take time off of work to get it done. I don't have that time. So in the meantime, I'm going to go just so I can get this project complete and get it all back together. I just went ahead and sanded and primed and painted it. So it's not going to stay this way. I'm going to get it sandblasted and Line-X'd for longevity. But for now, I'm going to get it reinstalled the way that I have it here. What else? Oh, and the coin door. I wanted to get the coin door reinstalled, but I'm running out of time. Oh, sorry about that. Speaking of running out of time, my camera battery died. I was hoping to do this synopsis here at the end before it did, but it didn't work out. So I'm tethered to the charger here. But yeah, so I was hoping to get this kick bar in and all the hardware and everything that we had redone. I painted and, I sanded and primed all of the metal latches and metal parts, and all this turned out great. So I was hoping to get all of this reinstalled. Coin door, and then this panel, that panel there that goes on the front of by the coin door there. I was hoping to get all that back on, so everything on the cabinet was done except for just repopulating all of the internals, but time didn't allow that for today. I had to sit there and watch the Chiefs make a fool of themselves for 3 hours today, so that was fun. But anyway, so this should suffice enough for a part 3. And then part 4, as far as I know, maybe the last part. It depends on when I get my artwork and what else is involved here. I need to clean up the PCB and get all the dust and dirt off of it. I got a new power supply. I have a new panel here. This panel here doesn't have these holes in it, so I have to drill the holes on the side for the lockdown brackets. But it is in much better shape. It's not swollen. It's not busted. It doesn't have missing pieces like this does. So this one's going to go in place of that one. I have to swap everything over to here. So that should be quite fun. Yep, so all the electronics, all the internals will be in another part, and then maybe a part 5 will be the artwork application. I can't say. So stay tuned. Hopefully this whets your appetite enough. I do need to rebuild the monitor. The monitor has a cap kit, but it's very dirty. So I'm going to swap this chassis out with an already cleaned and rebuilt and working and otherwise good to go, somewhat bulletproofed U2000, replace this U2000, and then I'll clean this one up and add it as a spare for the one replace that I put on here. So I want to rejuvenate the tube just to see how much better it looks. So that's another thing I want to have done here. So stay tuned. All this stuff will be done here. Hopefully another couple of parts, and we'll have this project complete. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next part.